You've told us why you want to be mayor in your opening statements. Tell us what your vision is for the city, what major project you want to advance in the next 4 years, and how you will work with council to achieve it.
Well, thank you very much, John, for the question. I think I've already given a strong indication that in how I work as a head of council. I've created relationships in the first instances with the councillors themselves, and we developed a sense of teamwork, and we followed that up by doing a strategic session, and we developed again a relationship with administration. So we created some very strong relationships around respect and trust, and that laid the foundation for the work environment that we enjoy today and led us to be as effective as we were. In terms of the largest capital project that's going to happen in the next 4 years is also the largest capital project ever to take place in the city of Cornwall, and it's the addition of a secondary wastewater treatment plant to the tune of $55 million. That will be the largest capital project ever undertaken in the city of Cornwall, and that will occur in the next 4 years of council.
Thank you. Mark?
Thank you very much. It's interesting to note that the first question would deal with the most specific issue related to the campaign, and that is the $55 million wastewater treatment project. The fact of the matter is, the largest project undertaken in the history of the city of Cornwall, okay, this, under his leadership, we had the opportunity to keep that contract in Cornwall. We had a Cornwall qualified bidder that bid $750,000 less, and it's interesting to note that that's the first question, because we have a mayor that goes on the radio promoting the Chamber of Commerce and telling people to shop local, yet the first opportunity that he has to do it on a major scale decides to send it to a firm out of town. Completely unacceptable. That project should have stayed there.
Nicole?
I too feel that we should have kept it in Cornwall, for the simple reason is we have competent workers. The architects are capable and they're competent, but we chose to go to Kingston. Now why? No one knows the real answer. But it's okay, because you don't have to have the answer. You're just taxpayers, so why don't you pay some more taxes? And you know, when it comes time, they spend the money over 4 years, it won't really matter, we'll forget about it. It'll be election time again. We'll come back and sing you some more songs.
Discussion?
Certainly, thank you, John. The local company in question is a very reputable company by the name of Genevar, former Thompson Rosemount Group, known to us as TRG. A company of competent business people, engineers who have done business with on a very continuous basis, and I'm sure we'll continue to do work with Genevar. But when you set out an RFP, a request for a proposal, it is rules-based. And so you have a scoring system for every component of the bid. Of course, Genevar scored the highest points for having the lowest price. J.L. Richards scored higher on the technical side. And on the overall scoring, now we may not, listen, you think to a person around the council or administration that we would not have liked to see Genevar win the contract?
Well, if you would have liked it, with all due respect, Your Worship, if you'd have liked it, you'd have voted for it.
I thought we were going to do this respectfully.
But I want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to speak as well.
With all due respect, are we allowed, whenever there's a scrum, are we allowed, because I want to follow the rules, are we allowed to
Absolutely, we must be respectful, but we can't let one person take the whole time. We'll give you an opportunity here, Bob, you can have a comment, and Nicole as well.
Thank you very much. The issue with respect to the $55 million contract is at the very center, the very essence of what we are as political leaders. It's at the very essence. That was a political decision. It was a political decision. To shift the responsibility to the administration was wrong. They were good paying, high quality jobs that should have stayed right here in Cornwall. Simple as that.
Nicole, you have a comment? And then we'll go back to Bob. We'll extend just a bit here.
Now, I was at council when it was voted on. I was very disappointed, because you see, we had 2 councillors missing. Kim Baird had resigned, so that eliminated 1 vote. Dennis Carr was out of town, eliminated another vote. It should have been put on to another council.
Bob, last word, and then we'll move on.
Well, just to remind everyone that that was a majority vote of council to stick with the RFP scoring, to maintain the integrity and the credibility of the city when it goes out to an RFP. You cannot manipulate these things just because you don't like the end product. We acted very responsibly, fairly, and J.L. Richards merited and won the competition fairly.
Okay, thank you. No, sorry, Mark, we have to move on. Second question, we'll direct it first to Mark. Compared to other communities of a similar and in some case larger size, Cornwall is burdened with higher residential and business taxes. What is your plan to cut taxes?
Well, thank you very much for the question. And it's not a matter, and I say this with all due respect, it's not an issue of cutting taxes. The issue is managing our resources more effectively. That's the issue. The issue is managing our resources more effectively. We cannot keep going into the pocket of the taxpayer to pay the bill. When we're paying 50% more for policing than anywhere else in the province, and the police board will come to the council, and the same thing is with respect to the RFP, they say, basically you have no choice. And I say you do have a choice. You have to tell your managers to manage more effectively. It's not about what we need or about what we want. It's about what we can afford.
Nicole.
Well, surely you understand you're given a budget. That budget, you know, you have to direct it. You have to elect yourself a leader, and you have your council, and you have administration. Out of all that, you know, a lot of things go on, and nobody's really paying attention. Does anyone ask you if you want it? Did you really want it? Was there a need? And can we afford it? No, you can't afford it, but you want everything. So if you want everything, they're going to dig your taxes, and you're going to pay more. And all you have to do is say, no, we don't want it.